Well, here we are in my raspberry patch, which is also part of my chook yard, or chicken yard. Raspberries come in two types. There are your summer croppers and your dual croppers, with the second crop coming in autumn, which is now for us. So a few of our raspberries are doing just that, cropping for autumn. So I know I have some dual croppers. Don't know that focus is so good. There are some other types of raspberries in here, different varieties, but I can't remember what they are. So I'll just have to wait and see. Now my son and I put these stakes in to hold the canes up that were falling on the ground, and we've used baling twine to hold them up. But in retrospect, the stakes aren't tall enough because some of the canes are still just wanting to flop over. And here's Cobber eating something in the chicken run that he's found. Here's the chook house itself, with the first of the raspberries in the foreground. The yellow flowering herb is tansy. I read that's good for keeping lice away from chickens. I don't know if they eat it or if they can eat it. Mine aren't touching it. The other thing I grew last summer was silver beet. Here is the remains of two gigantic silver beet plants that I had. My chickens at the other place I used to live, they loved their silver beet, and we used to get the most golden yellow yolks. This mob haven't touched them. Not the slightest bit interested. They do, however, eat raspberry leaves and grass that's growing in here. This is comfrey here. I've got it on the outside of the pen, and just right in the centre frame there's a little passion fruit vine. We have another one down the hill which took 2 years to fruit, and last year we got about 100 passion fruit off it. It's just starting to ripen now, the fruits. This year we're expecting about 300. It's been such a roaring success, I thought I'd put another one in. So this one's its first year, and nothing much coming of it as yet, but I'm not surprised because the other one did the same thing. The chicken coop itself we made largely from leftover bits and pieces from the house build. The stumps from the post were new. We use hay bales for the steps. They've recently been replaced. The other ones lasted a bit over a year, and now they're in the garden. So they get another use. And the gate where they come in, and here comes my other dog, Bicky. They like being in the chicken run. They're both kelpies. So no chickens in the chicken run at the moment, just two dogs. She's on the right, 4 months old. He's on the left, 7 months old. Here comes one of my laying hens. There's some more up there. 3 out of 5 went broody last year, so we had 3 clutches of chicks. I just got fertile eggs from different places, which turned out to be good in the end because it's easy for me to tell which clutch is which. There go some more of them. So those two right up in the distance, which I can't zoom into because I'm not using the zoom lens, they're little Australorps. I have one Barnevelder, only 2 hatched in the clutch, but one sadly died from trauma. And I have 7 silver-laced Wyandottes. And I still have a dog in the chook yard, so I might let her out the gate this end. So here's the aforementioned passion fruit vine that we're expecting a lot of fruit from. So it's autumn here in Australia, passion fruit ripening time. You can see they're just starting to colour up, and they're going to ripen en masse. I wait till they fall on the ground, and we don't do too badly with the wildlife because they seem to be quite hard to get into, so the wildlife don't attack them that much. So there's a bit of yellowing of the leaves, so it's a little bit hungry, probably for two reasons, because the crop is so huge this year, but also I haven't kept the food up to it as much as I should have for the amount of fruit that's on it. I was a bit sporadic. What I should have been doing was a liquid feed every week of seaweed-based fertiliser and another one that I use called Power Feed, which gives that a boost. I've read that passion fruit vines like a bit of roadkill, dead animal, planted in the hole before planting. The very first passion fruit I planted, the soil wasn't that wonderful. The grafted stock, Nellie Kelly, died off and the rootstock took over, which was never going to be productive. So I pulled it out, enriched the soil, put a dead thing in the hole, left it until the following year and replanted, and this is the result. So with the new vine, the little one up at the chicken run, what I did was picked up a bit of roadkill. A rabbit was a nice size. Buried that for about 2 or 3 months before we planted out the vine itself. It was doing all right, but then we had some really cold weather unexpectedly, and that killed it off a bit, but it is recovering now. So I'm happy that it's going to continue. Plus the wildlife, which our main problem is wallabies. They got in and chewed all the comfrey down. I had lemon balm in there as well. They chewed that down. That did not survive, but the comfrey is really tough. So it's coming back. It'll die down in the next few weeks because winter's coming, and it'll bounce back in springtime. Back to the chicken yard. This is a little corner I have up at one end. There's a bit of rosemary here, and I have it just protected by a piece of weld mesh, otherwise the chickens will just scratch it up. You can see some flat leaf parsley, that's just self-sowed, and further into the corner there is a bit of calendula, which is also self-sown. You can see where the parsley is, and further back it's a bit hard to see. There's a bit of there we go, blackcurrant, and there's another one over to my right, and some herb robert. So this is just oh, that's not very good. This is just a bit of a corner. That's parsley seed from the original parsley plant. This is a native reed that wants to pop up everywhere. Here's the dog jumping again. I let that grow in there. It's a good hiding place for insects, frogs. Mind you, if the chickens found the frogs, they'd eat them. And that's also part of that little corner. This is the other end of the chicken yard. We collect water off the roof into this container. Some people call them IBCs. We've always called them Schultz containers, where those sticks prop up those little doors. They're the egg hatches where we get our eggs from. And on the left is what was a broody pen, but it won't fit through the door of the main chicken yard. So it wasn't very helpful when we had chicks. Although we did have one hen and her chicks using it for a while. Here are a couple of our chicks. They're 3 months old. Get out, dog. So we have a silver lace Wyandotte on the right there and an Australorp on the left. I have 7 silver lace Wyandottes. When I know for sure who's a pullet and who's a cockerel, then they will be dispatched accordingly, either to future homes, kept as future breeders, or off to the cooking pot. So that's the end of my first video. The quality of the videos will get better as I learn what I'm doing, but like anything, once you start, you don't know what you're doing. You just keep learning, keep reading, keep watching other people's YouTube videos. That's a lot of how I learnt my gardening and learn how to do what I'm doing with permaculture on my little 2.5 acre block, 10,000 square metres. And this is it. the Good Life Homestead.